Hello chat, how are we doing today? I probably just annoyed my entire Discord server because this is like the first time in probably years now I look at it. Yeah, like the last time I've done this is the 22nd of July. For the first time in like almost 3 years, I finally decided to use the stream announcements channel on my Discord. And because I don't have a stream announcements role for now, I guess, I just added everyone. There's like 7 people in here and they're all probably pissed off at me. Alright, let's see where it is. There it is. I don't know what, like, is OBS actually clipping out? Oh yeah, it is too. OBS, why are you like this? You are not the main character. Please get off the screen. Also, I just realized that because I keep an eye on my stream on like the web page as well, and I just realized I didn't pause my YouTube stream. I paused the Twitch one. Right, so I do want to finish this today. Now, when I was left this off, I had this going. So that is material preview. Who is messaging me at almost 3 o'clock in the afternoon? My grandmother texts me and asks me, how do I know what model my mobile is? Okay, I know it's an Android. I know it's a Samsung Galaxy something. Yeah, it should be about this phone inside of the settings app. Should tell you. Tell you. I don't know why my phone keeps trying to capitalize the T on L, especially considering it's not the start of the sentence, but whatever. Now, I want to quickly go into object here, and I just want to... I think I plugged this into a mission, right? And I turn the strength up on this very mildly, not quite that much. Like, 0.01 at most. Maybe even slightly less, like 0.05. Okay, that's good. But also inside this area is blue lights. So I do want to add some lighting to these. Just grab 1 point light. Pick out the darker blue color. And set this to be like probably 2 watts because I do need to duplicate this a couple of times. Set that to like... Actually, I wonder if an area light would be better because this is quite a large area to be covering. Now, if I look at this, there should be a setting, a rectangle, 1 meter, 90 minus. Okay, there we go. Now, I should be able to just grab these. Grab this entire thing, move it up a bit. I sort of want to bring it out and rotate it. And then probably along the Y. Oh wait. G. And then there we go. So probably like around about there. I don't think, yeah, I can't use modifiers on this, so I can't just mirror it or array it in any way. So I have to place all of these manually. So, G Y, Shift D along the Y, and then one more time. So now we've got those going, and now I can grab all of these. Shift D and along the X. XX, and then 180. 270? Almost. Actually, I can just base it off this, right? So it's 160 apparently for this. Is that really the case? The only real difference is that it does flip upwards slightly. So I probably want to rotate it down a bit more so that the lighting is actually centered. Like around there is probably good. Yeah, and see, that provides like a nice bit of lighting. But I use Shift D instead of Alt D. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to link all these to the main one. So if I Control L and link object data, it should now all be the same. Now if I change this to 1 watt, yeah, that's a good lighting amount, I believe. Because it does have the glowing effect from the main map. Also, I just realized that I didn't actually update the Twitch title. Okay, that should be fixed now. I think it was already fixed. I think I just copied and pasted it for the YouTube title. Now I need to find some way to light this area up because, believe it or not, all of these are actually lights. I just, for whatever reason, I abstained from using these as light sources during the money bag scene. I wonder if I should change this, but I want to change like this dark spot here to be moved around a bit. So if I move this across until the... Yeah, that's gone now, but I actually want to decrease the brightness of these. So maybe drag this one down a smidge. Okay, no, that actually does that one. I don't want that one. Maybe I need to decrease this one. Okay, that's a bit better. There we go. It probably needs to be desat just a little bit. Because at the moment, it's like way too bright. If I mute this, it's like, it's doing something really weird here. Because like in this view, in like material preview, it's showing up janky, but the second I go into rendered view, it works just fine. Regardless, I want to desat this a little bit. It's not desetting at all. That is weird. It's because of the way this works. Because it is soft light. I mean, claim result, but that doesn't seem... Oh wait, it's probably because of emission, right? Because the emission would be a lot brighter. If I turn the emission off, that's just reflecting off of that, which by the way, I should probably put this up. And So if I plug this back in, that gives it the coloring it needs. I probably need to set this down to 0.1. But if I do that, the blue washes it out, so just... Okay, I think that one works a bit better. Now I'm actually going to turn the transmission on this. And... time to try and remember which one the transmission is under. Actually, no, Cycles comes with transmission by default, right? So I just need to fact that with the IOR. I also need to put this down a bit. Not quite that far, though. Probably like 0.3. If I put the metallic up, that's probably too much, so I'll just leave it like this for now. Again, I still argue that this is far too saturated. Like, there should be a way for me to be able to desat this without causing too many problems. I'll actually just go saturation. Yeah, so like this one is the only one that has saturation things. So if I remove that one, pull that down, put this back into the color value. Now I can fact about the saturation, not have too many problems. It's like, I find it to be far too vivid. Maybe it needs to be a bit darker. Like, maybe that much, but in saying that, it also just starts to become an issue. So if I put, like, that much, it's way too much. If I put this... Okay, we're getting somewhere with this. Because, like, I know Spyro is naturally, like, a very saturated game, but for this, it makes more sense to have this be slightly less saturated. Maybe 0.6. It's just hard getting what I feel to be good values. Now, this might look completely different to you guys because I know my screen is different from the average person's. So if I... Actually, this might be fine, perhaps. Like, I know the difference between the blue and the red is going to make it look far richer than it needs to be. But I think it will work. Anyways, time to deal with these stupid lights. So for these, I'm going to have them be relatively small-ish compared to... I'm going to add a new collection for lights specifically. And then... Where's this? Oh, the spotlight's in here. Where's this area light, though? The area light is... Oh, yeah, the pink. Makes sense. So if I go into here, it will tell me exactly where all these are. I can drag them down to lights. Cheeky things. Alright, so I'm going to start with possibly this one. So, add a point light to this, and I'm going to have to Alt-D these whenever I get the chance. And then, I'll start with 1 watt at a radius of 1 meter, perhaps? Yeah, that encompasses the entire mouth. Did my music break? No. Okay, it's still going. I was like, Did the music break for a second there, or am I just not having a good day today? Alt D, Shift Z. Alt D, and then Shift Z again. I said Shift Z, not Shift X. Silly thing. And then this one does actually need to be moved up a bit. Actually, can I snap these to the faces? So if I snap the face, I can actually. And make my life considerably easier. This one. And then like this. Now I can grab all of these point lights. I believe that's all of them without the additional ones. Now, Alt D and the X. If I right click, I should be able to mirror. I believe it's X global. Okay, it makes no difference. So what I probably need to do is I need to grab each of these individually. GX, and then snap them to the faces. This is up here. I'm going to grab all of these and just move them along. I forgot to duplicate that one as well. That. Put that there. Actually, no, I got all of them. Alright, cool. So, if I throw this into cycles for a second. So if I get rid of all of these. Yeah, they don't make much of a difference in the scene yet. If I set them up to like 2 watts or something, it starts to give like a little bit of lighting from the edges. And I think that works fairly well. I just need to pull this up. And Spyro 3 Midnight Mountain. Probably help if I could spell correctly. Want like the PS1 though. I don't really want Reignite because that doesn't help me at all. Is there any indoor scenes? Okay, here we go. The scene with Bianca. So if I put this up. Okay, thank you. So if I open this in a new tab, you can see where the lights are here. And like this entire area is quite bright, but I don't think it works well with the supposed scene that it's trying to create. Because like I think the outdoor scene and like comparatively the indoor scene should be a bit darker. I'll set it to like maybe 3 watts. Because then the lighting starts to influence this section here, which would be helpful. Alright, I think that's good. Go back to this, and now we start posing these guys. Just grab the entirety of this collection. Select objects. Not that though. I guess this must still be in that collection. Alright, you out. There we go. I'm actually gonna pose Herobrine first here. So I want it to be like, not necessarily sweet, but like have him have his hand resting on her shoulder. Probably bend that a bit. Oh, and he suddenly decided to become null, apparently. Wait, if I change the camera angle, like, are his eyes still glowing? No, they're not. Okay. Done. I was gonna make a joke about him becoming null, but I guess that's not applicable here. Weird. If I rotate his arm, apparently it just breaks it. What a bizarre glitch. I suppose even though Cycles is technically newer in this case because it's Eevee Next now, I guess it still has its occasional bug. Probably even a little bit less than that. Grab that. I don't want the fingers to be sticking out. I don't know why the hand controls are like this. Just grab both of these and just drag them down very slightly. X, just want to give some sort of stance here. And then for this one, I will move a bit closer. So, like, she's actually within range. Probably that's too close, maybe? Okay, I need to edit the pose a bit. Okay, that should be fine. And then... I probably want to have, like, actual weapons, like them holding weapons. So I think... Alright, so what have we got in terms of items in this game? Like, it's already implied that, like, in the first image, I know that Cyclonic threw a shovel at him, so it could be heavily implied that she doesn't have traditional weapons on her person. If I pull up... Here we go. Minecraft related, and... It's this one. Okay, it's render 3 that this was on. So if I pull up render 3, like, that's the closest thing I imagine she'd have to a weapon on her person when this happens. So she's already thrown this, and, like, it's probably going to be implied that she doesn't get that back. So I'm going to have to maybe find... I could use, like, a golden apple or something to indicate, like, protection instead of... Because, I mean, like, on the other end, like, Herobrine could loan her a weapon, but... Knowing the character in question, it's like, oh yeah, she wouldn't take a weapon from me even if they were friends. Lava Bucket would probably be too obvious considering how the Sorceress fight actually goes. dies, music discs, netherites. I mean, pointed dripstone would be kind of funny, actually. What else do we have? I mean, like, we could make the implication of, like, wood or stone tools. Like, you should... At that point in the journey, if, like, you're acting as you were in Minecraft, you would definitely, at the very least, have stone. Or, I could do the funny. I'm gonna do the funny. But that's the item model. Like, is there a weapon model for this, or am I gonna have to... There is a block... Oh yeah, there should be a block model. S-T, here we go. Is Trident in this area? Tripwire. Okay, no, it doesn't look like it. So is it under... It shouldn't be under effects and weather. It'd probably be under entity. Okay, apparently we have crossbow and bows and shields, but apparently we don't have a trident entity in this version? Like, you would think somebody would have thought, oh hey, trident is a entity, maybe we should get that in. Apparently not. And the worst part is you can't, like... What the hell was that? Okay then. Apparently you can't just use like a search tool either. So you can't just search up. I wonder if there is a search. I believe it's F. Okay, which one is this? Is it F9? No, it is not. F5. There's like the one that I can press that will allow me to... Not that one, that's for sure. Okay, here we are. So you mean to tell me the only instance of a trident is the item and not the entity? Like, not to rag on the devs for this, but like, come on. I don't think I can import the model either. Oh, there goes that idea. So, like, pre-rigged entities, we've got bows, arrows, a crossbow, and a shield. I think I use shield for this one. Spawn shield. Okay, here we go. Get out of it. So, Cypher will be holding this in her right hand because she is canonically left-handed. Is there a good way to attach the shield to her hand? I'll actually just pose the model first. And I can have Herobrine have a weapon of some variety. So if I grab this... Oh, it's strange. It's like this, like these characters have no knuckles whatsoever. They have fingers, but they don't have a single knuckle at all. Like, same with the thumb. I mean, like, it makes sense these are supposed to be rather simplistic models, but still rather obnoxious. I suppose when I get around to it, I might have to find a different set of models to use for these. Go RZD and then 90. Let's do this one then. Like that, and then rotate it along the Y until it's roughly aligned with the hand. Because, like, the shields are still quite large, so I need to be fairly precise with the placement. I could actually probably lift this up a bit more because the hand is going to be closed around it. But this is a bit of a tight space to work with, I'm going to be honest, chat. So I'm going to have it like that, and then rotate the shield a bit more. On the Y-axis, just rotate that. It's a bit strange when you think about it, because like that's quite far off the arm. Like, I know the angle is probably slightly off, but it's not that off. Like, that is probably roughly about where the shield should be. So, the fact that the gap is this large is a little bit disconcerting. Like, the other option is, too, is it's implied that the shield goes, like, on the arm. But if you look at the average Minecraft character holding a shield, and let's see, it's like really hard to see because all the views for a character holding a shield is from the front. But like, if you look at this, like the shield angle is really off. Like, that's Alex holding a shield. But most of the time, like, it's angled as though it's actually attached to the forearm. Maybe I should do that, would probably be a bit better. Yeah, I'm gonna angle it so it's actually attached to her arm instead. Because, like, I initially thought that, like, the character had the shield, like, on the hand. Like, that was how it worked, but it seems like that the shield is attached to the arm instead. Like, the shield's attached to the arm normally, and then when brought in front of them, yeah, it's like really weird angle, so I'm gonna attach it to her arm instead. So, rotate that 90 degrees. So, like, I need to reopen that tab actually. History and Windows. Yeah. So, looking at the angle for this. The angle is basically 85 degrees from like where the arm is straight down. So it's more or less like that. No, I don't want to delete, I just want to move it. And then just rotate this. Probably in the Y? No, Z. Yeah, so now she's got a shield equipped. I'm just going to parent that to the arm. And now if I go into pose mode, this should... Okay, no it doesn't. Is there a way to attach this to the... I'd have to, like, basically add an additional bone for this to work. let's go pose mode. Actually, I think this should be fine because I can just move them around together. And I think, like, normally Herobrine is actually right-handed, which is why he's going to be, like, holding onto his shoulder in this case. But I am going to give him a weapon. Let's see. Probably, like, the sword looks fine. So, go to the, I believe it's F3 for this one, yeah. Oh, wait, because it's in this mode. So I've got, like, different swords and whatnot. I mean, I could do an axe instead. Like, there's a lot of different weapons that I could pick for Herobrine to fight the final boss with. I could make a monster school reference and have him wielding a stick instead. And while that would be funny, I think it would also make more sense for it to be slightly more serious for the final fight. So I think I'm going to pick an axe, but I'm going to pick a golden one specifically. And that's just more in reference to one of the original Herobrine mods, not the I believe it's 1.6.4, whichever one that one was. But the slightly newer one that came after that, the one that had Herobrine just attacking constantly. I'm actually gonna pose Herobrine a little bit more here, because I want the axe to be visible. Okay, so I think that's probably a good angle. Maybe have him just a little bit closer. Have the arm bent slightly more, if it would let me. Maybe have the arm rotated a bit. Is it? Yeah, it's definitely clipping into his shoulder. Also, I just realized that his hand is still closed, and that's not the intention for this scene, so I'm just going to open the hand a bit. Probably move him slightly further away. So I want the two of them to be roughly centered. So I'm gonna move, select objects, and that one as well, and just G and then X this. Probably, does it need to be a bit further? Maybe just a smidge. Alright, now I can grab this. And then rotate that around. Do I want to give more density to this axe? I don't think it's necessary. Like, maybe if it were the final fight, but this isn't quite yet. Oh wait, I need to first of all increment and then medium. Right. So grab this along the way. Probably rotate this a bit. Smidge more. I want Herobrine to be solidly holding this. Maybe rotate it slightly. There we go. Close his hand a little bit. Like, nobody's going to see the clipping on that side. I think that looks quite good. I want to add a subtle glow effect to this. I don't think it's necessary, but it might be nice to have, we'll see. If I wanted to do that, I'd have to... First of all, I'd have to F12 this. But then I'd have to go into the compositing and add a glow effect specifically to that portal, which I can do. Let's see how it turns out first. Also, I just realized I haven't actually fully posed this one, like this one here, so let's quickly go ahead and do that one here. Object mode, pose mode again. Grab this. Actually, probably even along the Y, and then along the X. Just to make it look a little bit more stanced up. Actually, the feet don't need to be forward at all. However, they do need to be clipping to the floor slightly less. So if I grab this... Like, I just don't want them to be clipping the floor. So maybe... I think Herobrine's clipping slightly too. Yeah, he's very much clipping. Jeez. Okay, get out of the floor, big man. Also, I just realized I wasn't in post mode for that one. And then I can add this one to be just a little bit down. Also, I just realized the handle, because of this, is now sticking out of his hand, so I'm just going to move that up a bit. Actually, this is annoying me just a bit, the fact that it's so out of alignment, so I'm just gonna... There we go. Now that probably fits his hand just a smidge better. There we go. As much as I'd love to be able to do animation for like the final boss fight, I definitely don't have the experience for that quite yet. Now, something funny I was thinking about before stream was, what if for like one of the final fight scenes, Herobrine and Scythe somehow managed to get a hold of a garbage can and just dunk the sorceress head first into the garbage can? I think that would be incredibly funny. However, I was looking through the models resource, which is the site where I get all the stuff from, and I could not find a single PS1 trash can on the entire website. I don't know why that's a thing, but apparently it is. Also, is this... Oh yeah, it does actually have a slight extrusion on these. I was thinking, did I imagine that? But apparently not. So I'm going to save this one. And then I am going to grab the entire homeworld and just delete the entire thing. And we're also going to... We're actually just going to hide this for now. Grab the plane, get rid of that. We don't need it anymore. Lights, who cares? Delete the hierarchy. That is one hell of a scene when you think about the fact that in the actual game you're walking through a black void in order to get to that fight. So I am now going to, I believe I have this available to me. Like I downloaded this and then like extracted all that fun stuff. So if I go into video game files, I believe it is. Video game 3D models, Minecraft, not Minecraft, Spyro. Yeah. Did I not? Yeah, I did do this one actually. Okay, so this is a... Oh, there's a remake of this. Both the AE and FBX. FBX preserves quads from the program used to export rip level, prevents the texture of UVs from being split into triangles. Okay. So it's the FBX that I want to use for this. So if I import FBX, and then I go into the video game models, and there it is. There we go. And all of a sudden we have this. Now, for some reason, the teacher did not import this. Wait, if I just drag and drop PNG, okay, that does nothing. So for this, I want to figure out why this is not functioning correctly. Okay, so if I Control T, so open this and then go back into the video game 3D models, I should be able to just import this and it should function correctly. There we go. So same with this one. Control T. Oh, actually no. Let's just redo Control T. And then... Oh, actually I can just do it directly from here, right? I can... Right. I believe it's this one? Yeah, there's that one. Okay, so now that's been imported in. Did I remember to import the model of the sorceress, or am I just dumb? I think I probably forgot. So I'm going to select objects. I believe that one as well, right? Where is the shield model? Is that... Okay, it's actually in the cyclonic model, so that's helpful. However, that one needs to actually be moved to the Herobrine collection. Select objects. I think I have a rough idea of what I want to do for this particular fight scene. And it's going to be a low-angle shot of the sorceress trying to attack Scythe while Herobrine's above about to deliver the killing blow of the axe. So I think that should actually be dope as hell. Hopefully I can live up to my own expectations in this case. I'm sorry. The object origins of the eyes make it look like he has tiny orange pupils and he looks surprised. Hang on. I want to grab this. Where is the mouth control? There it is. Okay, no, that's not the mouth control. This one is. And that one as well. I want to make it, like, really wide. Isn't there, like, a way that I could... Hang on. Now that I've done this, I'm gonna grab the entire... Why does he look like this? Why does he look like that? Oh, the object origins do not do him any favors. Anyway, time to stop faffing about for a second here. Just grab both of these and Alt-G, Alt-S. There we go. I don't know why, but that's incredibly funny to me. Alright, so we've got these two in the arena now. Where do I want the camera angle to start from? It'll probably be like from... probably around here, maybe? Like, probably around here. I'll keep it there for now, but it's not quite in the correct position. It's like round about here for now. So I've got that, got the lighting. Now the lights have to be different for this particular scene. And I need to create a new skybox. Because like this is cool and all, but like this is not befitting of the actual level. So if I... Sorceress Slayer. There we go. So, like, legitimately, this thing has an eclipse going on. Like, I was gonna say black hole, but that's quite clearly an eclipse. So, this skybox has an eclipse going on. I need to figure out how I'm going to replicate that. I imagine I could use, like, a disc or something for that sort of... like, just use a circle or something along those lines. But it's just getting the skybox to be correct. So I spent so much time doing the skybox. I probably don't need... actually, I can do something else with this. So the internals, I'm actually going to... Alright, how much of this do I need to throw? I'm going to go into the shading workspace for this one. So how much of this do I need to throw out? I need to get rid of the stars. Need to get rid of that. Voronoi can stay because I am going to need this for something else. I'll set this to 1. Because the Voronoi is going to come in handy later. I just need to figure out how I'm going to do it. So, if I set this all the way back down, and then I scale this up. So the idea is to have clouds in the background. Because obviously I'm looking at this and like there's clouds around the section here. Now it's not necessarily the case that it goes down from the top, but it's fine. Also, can we just talk about the fact that in this, like in the Reignited trilogy, it's literally just the Midnight Mountains skybox, but it's just orange. Like in this case, like you can see some clouds, But like, if you looked at this without context, you'd think it was just extremely boring. Like, I prefer the skybox. Now, I think there is a way to fade out. I'm actually going to get rid of these for a second. Where's the skybox? Okay. So I'm going to remove this for now. So I can see exactly what's going on here. So if I grab this, I can probably... Oh, I forgot that I had the emission on this thing. Okay, there we go. Now I can actually see what's going on here. So I need to darken some of this. I actually need to set the mapping node on top of this. And what I can do now is I can actually squash the clouds along the z-axis. No. Okay, so I can squash like that, and I can probably just rotate it. Rotate like 90 degrees, but then that just becomes stripes. It's not what I'm looking for. If I remove the mapping from this, it just breaks again. So it does need to be along UVs. If I do that, just leads to... Oh, that kind of looks like here, actually. I have here on the brain when it comes to that stupid other project. The Drider. Okay, interesting. Apparently Voronoi can be used like that. I did not know it could be. So wait, if I flipped this, and then I added the alpha here, like, that's a helpful start, but it's not quite where I want it to be. Just extract this out, because, like, what I want to do is I want to have it be relatively well defined, but I don't want it to be so well defined that... Okay. Now the problem is just, I want to squish these down, so they're more compressed around this section, and then I can probably use a color ramp to mix in and just get rid of the stuff at the top here. It's just compressing this lot. Because, like, if I compress to one side, it just does that. And I want to compress around the sphere, if it makes sense. So if I did it via object, it just breaks it seems. I don't think there's any way that I can get away with doing this. I'd have to, like... I'm gonna add a color ramp here. So, add a ramp here, do the mapping. And then I'm going to shift a mix color here. And then this is actually going to be the secondary, because the color that comes out of this is going to be... I probably don't need this anymore, do I? Okay, darken is actually kind of necessary. So then I need to plug this into the base color, but I need to plug the alpha into A. And then using the mix node, I need to plug this into the alpha. So that's going to show that information just as it was before. Now I need to view this. So I need this to be mapped to where? So I want this to like fade out fairly quickly. And then I actually need to make this a separate mapping node. So Shift D, plug that in here, and then plug this in here. So now that it's got the vector mapping node, and what I can do is I can now rotate this as I see fit. Okay, not that one. Weirdly enough, it seems that the rotation on this just doesn't want to function the way I want it to. Not that that's unusual at all, but it's still annoying that it does that. So if I set these to 45 degrees, both of them, it gets to a point where it hits it's like it hits a barrier and then it goes in the other direction. It's odd. I wonder if it's because this thing is matched to UV. I wonder if I map it to object instead. It sort of does something. Weird. If I look at this for a second here. It's not rotated in any weird ways. The scale's been applied, so it's just being like that for the sake of being like that. Which really annoys me, actually. Okay, so Y gets me within the right ballpark. And then... not that way. If I change this to 45 as well. So, like, it angles it just slightly. And I don't really want that. Because, yeah, it just angles it in weird and random directions for no reason whatsoever. So this thing just doesn't play nicely with spheres as it turns out. It strangely just wants to go off to one side. And I don't know why that is. Map Blender, why are you like this? You could be literally any other way and you choose to be a pest. Like, it should not be this hard to have a singular gradient going from the top to the middle of a sphere. Oh, interesting, I can do this. Apparently, changing these to different settings does stuff. So if I move these about... okay, yeah, that does something. I couldn't tell you what, though. If I move this all the way out, right? Okay, it's like slightly angled now. So if I move that... Now I just need to move this about, not that way. $55 maybe? Like, I can't expect this to be perfect, but like, good lord is this annoying. Maybe this one needs to be moved up by 55 degrees. Or maybe even just down. Okay, that's as close to perfect as I'm going to get, so I'm just going to take it. Now I can do this. And hopefully... Now that should... If I darken with this... That makes it more visible. So I want to flip this. So the top becomes basically non-existent. Interesting. Why is it doing that? Oh wait, the darken result needs to be after this. Wait, no, that shouldn't matter though, right? Wait, if I plug this in... So, if I were to do this... Yeah, so the black should evaporate the colors here. So I want to reflip this to be back in the correct position. Actually, no, that's not where I want them to be, right? So... flip that. I need to actually move these. Yeah, I just need to move them down till it's around about halfway-ish. Now, if I click this, yeah, now it's evaporated some of these. The problem is that the fade off is quite sharp. Probably want to maybe even make this slightly lighter. Nah, because then it just doesn't really cut off correctly. Probably need to do some messing about with these. And then... that, maybe scale them a bit. Because, like, the problem is that the cutoff is too sharp, and, like, for this, they sort of vaguely fade away near the top. Like, it fades off around about here. And actually, come to think of it, the colouring actually almost seems like the clouds darken at the top, making it look like they fade away, but that might not necessarily be the case. We'll see. Alright, let's edit this one here. So, this one is supposed to be a very dark orange, more or less. So, go this one. Color pick, probably like this lighter color. Color pick the darker orange. Now, the thing with the lighting in this scene is that it's going to be considerably brighter. Now, I'm not entirely certain the lighting values for an eclipse, but it's certainly not the same as what's portrayed in the game. So, we'll have to see on that one. So where is? I'm actually just gonna change these out a bit. So the coloring. Actually, I don't need the coloring for this one because they're not going to be lit up. So the ramp for this. Actually, I can just copy and paste from the original one here. And then okay, that's quite okay, it sort of works. I'd probably argue that the clouds are too thin at this point. I wonder, is there like a cloud texture? So, Blender clouds. Characters. It's like rigged things. I could have sworn that Blender had like a cloud texture. Like if I go in here and go into textures, like the only one that's there is the sky texture. In fact, I'm not even certain why I'm using skyboxes when I've got this going on. Like I have the world tab. If I go home and sky texture into background, surface, color, and then I'm going to change this to be, where's my thing there? Set that to be minus, there we go. Now I can set this to be whatever I feel like. I'm going to set this to 2100 for now. I'm going to set the elevation to be... What is the elevation here for the sun? I don't see the disk anywhere. Where is it? There we go. It's over here. Oh, I see the bastard now. And 32.32. Okay, that's way too large for what we're doing. Alright, time to pull this up. Sky texture node. Sky multi use. Sun direction, turbidity. So the turbidity should be... Actually, it's not in this mode, so it doesn't really matter. Sun disk, sun size. So it's like... I know the sun size is very unlikely to be the same as Blender's lighting, but I will have a quick look. So if I go into here, and F1, not F2. Hello, music, what are you doing? It says it's playing. I don't know why the music's so quiet on my end today. Angle, angular diameter, like the amount of times I've visited this specific Wikipedia page is astounding. Sun. Sun, sky, Mercury, sun. Yeah, that is technically correct. So like 31.27. 31, not 21. Like, it's really not Like, that is quite large. I'll go like 15 degrees would probably be more appropriate here. Or maybe... perhaps 10? Have it like really in the middle of the scene here. And then elevation, rotation, altitude should be distance from sea level to the location of the camera. For example, if the camera is placed on a beach and the value 0 should be used. Or if the camera is in the cockpit of a flying airplane, the value of 10 kilometers would be more suitable. Note this is limited to 60 kilometers because the mathematical model only accounts for the first 2 layers of the Earth's atmosphere, which ends around about 60 kilometers. Okay, that makes sense. So the altitude from sea level probably be about like 500 or something thereabouts. Now air probably set to like 2. Density of dust and water droplets probably 3 then. And then ozone. Density of ozone molecules useful to make the sky appear cooler. No ozone. Probably like 0.5. Yeah. So the more I fact about the dust, like the less it does anything. Now the only issue I have with this method is the fact that I can't get the same color of orange that's in the scene. Like, it's basically the sky is on fire orange. I forgot to tab open stream. I was going through streams clip moments. Hey Foxy, how you doing? Sorry, I had the reference images covering chat. I really need to stop doing that. You're just going through clips, huh? Is there... what other... there is this mode. So, turbidity is like 6, ground altitude. Yeah, it does like sweet FA really. Although, to be fair, I think the strength of this needs to be a lot higher in order for it to show anything. So this is like the most basic of models for the sun, from the looks of it. And then this one... yeah, okay, I think I'm not going to use the sky texture for this, because it does not seem to work the way I'd want it to. So back to the skybox. And get rid of that, and boink. Now I do need to set this to be back to this setting. There we go. Actually, I do need to set up the lights in the scene as well. So I'll set this to 0. And action, I want the sun that's pointing... I believe that's directly downwards. So it actually does need to be at an angle, and I think the angle I'm going to do is opposite to this set of rocks here. So I believe if I drag this over here, I can point this in this direction. I am good. Glad to hear it, Foxy. And pick out, like, say this color. Actually, it probably needs to be like a brighter orange. I'll set the strength to... alright, what's the... I have like so many tabs open now of just random information. So it's overcast, so that technically does class it as 200 milliwatts per meter squared. Not milliwatts, watts per meter squared. Aside from slight pain. I'm hoping you're getting better, Foxy. I know you visited the neurosurgeon. And I know you have some sort of appointment coming up. Like, when is that? So, 200 watts. Now, if I go into cycles, it's going to be like a blinding orange. But then I can turn the... I can turn the lights down from here. Probably like about negative 2.5 for now. Now the only issue is like these are hella reflective and I don't really want that. Like you wouldn't think it'd be so hard trying to come up with a decent cloud texture, but apparently that's just the biggest challenge I'm facing right now. I had a piece of my cheesecake a couple of hours. Want to see a picture? Yeah, sure. Do I maybe want to... I know I can disable light reflections, but I don't think it's going to look as good. Is the only issue. Like, I find that to be far too red now, actually. Can I disable... Actually, yeah, I can. I can disable the lighting for the back sphere. So... Object, I believe it is. And then... I know there is a way to... Okay, I can remove the camera rays. Wait, this isn't even the correct one, is it? No, it's the, inner sphere. I want the outer sphere. I want to not be affected by lighting. Center? Okay. I mean, don't get me wrong, I love cheesecake and that looks good. But why does that dead ass look like a school lunch cheesecake? Like, don't get me wrong, it looks really nice, but that's school lunch cheesecake. Let me be real with you, Foxy. I know you're a custodian in that, but good lord. It was probably really tasty though, and it's probably good for your throat. I don't know, I've never seen school cheesecake. It's not necessarily the cheesecake itself, it's the paper plate presentation. Let's see, what is the... I could have sworn there's a way to prevent light from hitting an object. Oh, lol, yeah. Let's see. Render layers. Light cycles. Render layers. Okay, I'm not good at render layers. Also, it seems like a... Oh, we celebrated my birthday today? Yeah, I know your birthday was yesterday, but still happy birthday. I know you're a bit busy to pop on stream, especially with your 10-hour marathon. So, like, I can do that. But like the second I start removing stuff from the ray visibility, it just doesn't work. So what if I went to the sun instead? There's got to be some way to disable this, right? I could have sworn that was the case. No, Color attributes. Relations, maybe? No. Shading? That's for caustics, though. That doesn't really help me in this case. I'd have to, like, really think about this one. Because apparently this is set too bright. The entire skybox here. It should be able to... Didn't I set this so that the light travels through the skybox? Why is this just now breaking? Like, I know the shadow, when turned off, does that. We went to a place in Indiana that had hatchet throwing. Oh, that would have been fun. I cannot be trusted to throw a hatchet because I know for a fact that if I did so, there would be casualties. So, like, yeah, very poor idea for me to do that. Also, why is there black outlines on the clouds? Like, that's not really necessary. I think it was actually because I turned the shadows on. Me and my boyfriend were the ones hatchet throwing, the parents were just watching. I mean, to be fair, considering how the parents have been, they probably would want to be standing quite well back, wouldn't they? Just a thought. Because, like, if I turn the light off, and I set this back to the way it was, which is negative 6.5. For some reason, the entire... Okay, here we go. I would need to find a way to do a sky texture without the entire color being washed out. He literally made a comment right as I picked up the hatchet when we started our session. Yeah, I think him and I both had the same thought, and I think we were both correct on our assumption. I could actually just, like, set this back to 0 here. And then maybe just tweak down the edges. Okay, no, other way. Like, tweak down the edges here. If it would let me, hello Blender. Oh good lord, I clicked on this one, I wanted to drag it down. Thank you. But still, that doesn't change my sun problem. Like, I would need to set this all the way up to this. I would need to set this back to negative 2.5. I probably even need to say I'd need to set this lower. Probably negative 4.5. Said, I'm sure he's going to imagine my face on the wall while throwing. Oh wait, it was your dad that made that comment? He is shockingly self-aware for somebody who is an enormous dickhead. I'll be real, that's like impressively self-aware. And that's coming from the person who, in of themselves, is very self-aware. Okay, that is not the correct one. It's actually this one. And I want to set this to be... like, grey around the edges, because I don't want there to be black outlines on them. I'm actually gonna switch these around a bit just to see if I can find one that works a bit better. Okay, I forgot that F1 just doesn't really work here. Chevy Chev? Nah. Well, I know one of them works and it's not Minkowski? I believe that's pronounced. Always watching Minkowski. Always watching. Alright, we're gonna stick with Euclidean for this one. What if I switch this to 4D? It doesn't really work. 2D. By the way, I was able to get quite a few bullseyes literally completely unintentionally. Looks like somebody had a bit of stress and anger to work out, huh, Foxy? I'm glad I'm not the one pissing you off. Oh, interesting. If I darken this... Okay, it's like almost like a fog effect. That's kind of cool. But that's not what I need right now. 4D. Actually, I'll just stick to 3 now. F2 maybe? No, because that just disintegrates. Wasn't really aiming for the center when throwing, it just landed there multiple times, and each time I just raised my arms up. Oh, I'm sure that was completely accidental, Foxy. I'm sure. What's interesting is that this has like a fog effect now. That was vaguely what I was sort of aiming for with this texture, because it kind of looks similar. Because, like, the problem is getting this to work correctly. I'm going to grab all of these, and I'm going to paste them into here. So, get rid of that. And then, yeah. Now, if I set the color to be like a dark red and have this got to be like a brighter orange, and it actually almost conforms to the coloring of the skybox, almost. And I think that's purely because of the fact that I have the fade out from the top on the other skybox. Also, it was my boyfriend's first time hatchet throwing, and my lord, the way he was throwing the hatchet was extremely forceful. It was so loud every time he threw. Like, isn't throwing a hatchet extremely hard kind of dangerous though? Because what if that shit bounces back at you? Like, that would probably end in some sort of disaster, I'll be honest. So I'm going to save this as... I'm going to save this before I screw something up. I'm going to remove these because they will just get in the way. Hello, Blender? Okay, apparently just did not like that. And get rid of the... There we go. So now we've got this, I'll just save it. Because, like, I'm thinking if a hatchet is thrown and it bounces back at, say, like, 70% velocity, I think roughly is what that is. Like, if that blade is coming for you, you should be running in the other direction. Also, my Minecraft torch just finished recharging. That's pretty convenient. Alright, so if I do this... Actually, I wonder if I can get away. Oh, trust me, it did bounce back to me and got very close. Yeah, that'd be fucking scary. When I threw? Oh, when you threw. Christ, how much force were you throwing it with? Did you just get, like, one of those anime flashbacks about your father abusing you and then just full sent the thing? What the hell did you do? So yeah, that, like, gets that coloring there. So, like, this one doesn't need to be colored at all. I don't know why it is. Why is this colored? Actually, to come to think of it, it's probably because of this. Oh, interesting. This light seems to be actively darkening the scene. I'll get rid of that for now. Was not throwing it as hard as he was, that's for sure. Somehow, I doubt that. So I need to actually change the sun back to neutral. I'm going to change this back to white. Yeah, so that like reflects off the clouds there. I think I want the... If I wanted to do this, I'd have to put this on a separate layer. So I'm going to... Is there a way to prevent this from... Oh, whoops. That's the wrong one. Let's go back to Skybox Stars for a second here. Why did that disappear all of a sudden? Where the hell is my lighting, chat? I'm dead ass. Yeah, I somewhat believe you. Not entirely, but I somewhat believe you. Why is... Oh, did I accidentally hit the... No, I didn't, because the character would have disappeared. Why is the skybox suddenly non-existent? Why is it suddenly just focusing on one at a time? I didn't ask for this. I barely put force into my throws because I knew that when doing that, it wouldn't have enough time to do a full rotation to stick to the wall. Since I have experience from doing it in the past. Okay. I mean, maybe you should put in 3/4 as much more as you have already. Maybe that should be enough to get you through the rotation to actually hit the target. Like, that's a very poor way of explaining it, I'm sorry. Wait, what the... Oh, these two got swapped, that's why. Put that one as the skybox and put this one as the stars. There we go. That's a bit better. So... Like, I do want the sun to have some sort of colouring to it, but not like huge amounts. Probably like about that much. Like 0.8. Like 0.85 should be sufficient. Because like the idea is to have similar colouring but not quite the same. Actually, come to think of it, this also needs to be changed up. Like these textures here specifically. Like all the lava that needs to have emissions, I believe. So if I plug the emission into here, I can actually set this up to like 25, probably. Because remembering this is still lava, it's going to be very hot and very bright. But yeah, at one point I threw it and it landed near the wall, but then just bounced backwards towards me and landed like a foot away from me, Lamau. It reminds me of that, what was it? Is it mini bit animation? It's one of the X throwing ones. And she throws it, it bounces off the target and comes back towards her and she just starts screaming. That's a pretty funny one. I think it's like X throwing 2 or one of those ones. Let's see if I... Oh, interesting. I can actually do this. I wonder if I change the color? Like, if I just control X this and hue set value, that does basically nothing. Okay, good to know. Oh, ow, 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 ow. Oh, why did my nose become so itchy? Bruh. Okay, that was completely unnecessary. Why did you do that? Okay, so that, like, changed it to that. If I... Okay, that kind of works, actually. I'd need to pull it all the way down, though. Not the nose itching, I hate that. Yeah, it's the worst when you're streaming. Like, it's one of the many reasons why I don't use a face camera on streams is because I have a tendency to scratch at my nose whenever it really itches. And then, like, you'll see me partially distending my face because of that. And I think a lot of people find that to be a bit weird. Or do I want to just stick with the coloring here? I think I stick with the coloring like this. Because, like, even though there's no clouds, like, it would look more dramatic. Because I can't seem to get the clouds working no matter how hard I try. Like, the only other way to do it would be to make yet another skybox duplicate. And then, just cut it down so the clouds can go just around this section. I'm gonna pull that down. Yeah, that looks good. Alright, so... going to grab the inner sphere. Let's hide the outer one for now. I need to label these, actually. By the way, did you know your project said Dryder? Oh, is it still saying Dryder? My apologies, chat. Just, I forgot to fix that, and I just realized that if I put it on BRB, I can't change it. Lamau. So I'll have to just do this live. Properties. Well, actually, I'll just set to none for now. Thank you for informing me about that, Foxy. I should have realized that something was amiss. I just didn't realize what it was. Alright, now what was I doing? Right, the inner circle. So if I get rid of this one for now, and I shift D, scale this just a smidge, no problem. Yeah, I appreciate it. And then I go into edit mode. I'm going to remove how many layers is required for me to... probably around about this much. Yeah, I think that's much. So I'm just going to delete the faces on that. Clouds. Cool. Now, if I set this back, put that back in, I can probably get rid of these ones now, because I'm no longer... what did I do? Okay, I need to fix the mapping on this now. Now that I've gone ahead and done that dumb shit. Should I should just repeat this, actually. Can't believe I was that much of an idiot to do that. So, for this... Go here. I'm actually going to probably remove these textures. No, because if I remove these textures, it's not going to... Actually, hang on. I don't know why it's showing the Voronoi texture when there is no Voronoi, and we are on stars currently, so I know that much for a fact. Is it because this one's Voronoid? No, it's not because this one's Voronoid. Okay, so for some reason this one's decided it wants to keep the Voronoi texture. It's because this one is here. Yes, it is. Okay. So I'm going to remove these mapping nodes because these are no longer necessary for the function of this particular part of the skybox. I'll just maybe brighten this up a smidge. Actually, no, darken it. Pull that back. And just maybe right about here. Because like, I am going to have a sun of some variety. Probably even need to change the angle, but not right this second. So that's like that. And this is... Make sure I get this correct. This is the outer sphere. Oh my lord, not me literally launching myself into the blind gunman while saying you're gonna pay for that as he shoots me dead. Oh, 2 words for that, Foxy, and I think you can assume what I'm about to say. Okay, so that's the inner sphere. Get rid of the outer one from you. Shifty. Karma. No, 2 words, Foxy. Not 1. And then these are going to be clouds. And now I'm going to make a duplicate of this one. Skybox clouds. Instant karma. No, I was going to say skill issue. Like, imagine making a threat and not being able to follow up on it. Couldn't be me. Alright, so if I do this now, I can... I knew that. Oh, I'm sure. Anyway, I need to edit this. And yep, that's correct. So, with faces. Now, need to add a texture. I'm gonna go through these quickly and just have a look to see which ones are gonna work best. Possibly, okay. I just had a thought. What if I plug in a noise texture into a cloud texture and mix them together? Well, sorry, a noise texture, a Voronoi, rather. So if I go here, plug in a Voronoi texture, and then add the mix mode to it. So the base is going to be the noise texture, and then the Voronoi is going to be the secondary. Also, I need to add a ramp to this. I believe I had smooth F1 Also, I probably need to add a color to ramp to this one too. Not that one, you dip. There we go. Now I can do this one. So I got two color ramps. It's going to grey out all the colors on this. Now I want the blacks to be fairly obvious. Let's Control Shift T on this. I'll really get the scale on this one going. 220. Make sure these are plugged in too. Plug that into the vector. So now that should be a bit more consistent. I want the clouds to be faded, but not so faded. Now... Okay. This also needs to be an alpha. But the idea is to have the noise texture. I think I might need to flip this one actually. So anything that's not in those specific positions is entirely blacked out. So I'm going to set this to darken. Go, just fade these a little bit. Alright, now we've got a bit of noise texture going on. Now if I plug this into here, okay, that blacks it out. That is what I wanted. So if I get rid of this now, grab these, and plug that into the alpha. Okay, that's seemingly starting to work. Now if I bring back the inner and outer, okay, the clouds are starting to color in. I've sent you the clip. Okay, yeah, I'll look at it after stream. I've still got like about another 10 or so minutes. So now I can faff about with these until they're an acceptable level. I love how even Eevee's taking a hot second to render this now because of my need to do weirdly made shaders. Okay, starting to get somewhere with this. So I think the settings, not that one specifically. Set this back to 0.5. So I know that editing these can yield some results. Okay, the detail probably helps a little bit here. It's just having like a decent fade out at this point. Like if I look at this, the clouds actually look halfway decent. Now what I just need to do is fade them out so they're actually disappearing over the horizon almost. So in order to fade these out, how would I go about doing this? Probably need another ramp plugged into here, perhaps. And then, yeah, like that. And then add a mixed color to this one. So DC both of these, and now I need to add a mix from this one here, which is the secondary to the primary. And then add this to the base color and the alpha. Now I can edit this to darken. And then I need to flip this ramp. Flip positions. And there we go. We've got some semblance of clouds going on here. Probably need to just edit this a smidge more. Because, like, that's still probably just a smidge too detailed. It's just getting enough detail in these clouds that they, you know, look like clouds as opposed to just cartoon scribbles. I'm gonna probably like this, just to be able to see what's going on here. Probably slightly more. Probably around about there. Okay, like, I've almost got it, and it's frustrating how close it is. The details there. Okay, maybe the roughness needs to be edited down just a bit. It's just the edges, chat. Like, the edges aren't going about this the way that I hoped it would. Okay, let's try editing this down to around back here, maybe? Okay, that still looks far too clean. Okay, that looks a bit better. Now I need to plug the noise texture in as well. I'm actually gonna edit this around a bit. I love how just absolutely egregious this entire situation has become with these details. Uh, 0.5, thanks. I don't even know what I had it set to, like 32? Okay, now I can see this without the alpha. So, this... Okay, I'm just gonna grab all these and just subtract them down. So I'm gonna rename this to Cloud Fade Out. Because, fun fact, you can actually rename things. So... ramp. And then... wow. Ramp. And this is going to be noise color ramp. Don't mind the New Zealander coming through on that one. Okay, yeah, I can actually just edit this. I want to fade this out just a bit more, perhaps. The fade out's fine. What if I plug the distance into this? Okay, it's like different. Interesting. So the color and the distance are completely different, and I can't plug the position in because that's a normals node. And you can't plug normal nodes into color nodes. You need a secondary for that. Now, if I have this going, I put this back into cycles. Okay, there we go. You have some semblance of clouds now. I wish it was just a little bit more random though, but if I do any more roughness or any of these things, it's just gonna look a bit weird. Alright, I think that's probably enough on the skybox for the time being. So like the main thing that I need to focus on now is the fact that the sun is still probably a bit too... Well, I mean, the sun is not that bad. I think I just need to increase the... or decrease in this case. Increase the exposure a bit. Probably -3. Yeah, that looks fine, I think. Man, like, this whole skybox texturing stuff is giving me a bit of a runabout. I think I spent a solid 45 minutes on this at this point. But to be fair, while it doesn't look the exact same, it does look fairly similar, and that's the best I can hope for. So apparently the eclipse there, or black hole, depending on how you look at it, is actually behind the clouds, so it's going to be in between which layers? The clouds in the inner layer. I think I have enough space for that, but I'm not entirely certain. Even if I didn't, I can finagle my way into getting that to work. So, I'm probably going to end the stream off there. That was a reasonable amount of work. I know starting tomorrow I'm going to start on a new modelling project. So that'll be quite fun. I know I said I'll do Pokeballs, but I'm not entirely sold on the idea quite yet. There are a couple of other things that I could model too, so I guess tomorrow's just going to be a surprise. Anyway, I shall see you all in the next stream.